The old man just appeared, seemingly out of nowhere. The borderman was watching for him, sitting well back within the concealing shadows of a spreading hardwood high on a hillside overlooking the whole of the Strelaheim and the trails leading out of it, everything clearly visible in the light of a full moon for at least 10 miles, and he still didn't see him. It was unnerving and vaguely embarrassing, and the fact that it happened this way every time didn't make it any more palatable. How did the old man do it? The borderman had spent almost the whole of his life in this country, kept alive by his wits and experience. He saw things that others did not even know were there. He could read the movements of animals from their passage through tall grass. He could tell you how far ahead of him they were and how fast they were traveling. But he could not spy out the old man on the clearest night and the broadest plain, even when he knew to look for him. It did not help matters that the old man easily found him. Moving quite deliberately off the trail, he came toward the borderman with slow, measured strides, head lowered slightly, eyes tilted up out of the shadow of his cowl. He wore black, like all the Druids, cloaked and hooded, wrapped darker than the shadows he passed through. He was not a big man, neither tall nor well-muscled, but he gave the impression of being hard and fixed of purpose. His eyes, when visible, were vaguely green, but at times they seemed as white as bone, too. Now, especially when night stole away colors and reduced all things to shades of gray. They gleamed like an animal's caught in a fragment of light, feral, piercing, hypnotic. Light illuminated the old man's face as well, carving out the deep lines that creased it from forehead to chin, playing across the ridges and valleys of the ancient skin. The old man's hair and beard were gray, going fast toward white, the strands wispy and thin like tangled spiderwebs. The borderman gave it up and climbed slowly to his feet. He was tall, rangy, and broad-shouldered, his dark hair worn long and tied back, his brown eyes sharp and steady, his lean face all planes and angles, but handsome in a rough sort of way. A smile crossed the old man's face as he came up. "How are you, Kinson?" he greeted. The familiar sound of his voice swept away Kinson Ravenlock's irritation as if it were dust on the wind. "I'm well, Bremen," he answered, and held out his hand in response. The old man took it and clasped it firmly in his own. The skin was dry and rough with age, but the hand beneath was strong. "How long have you been waiting?" 3 weeks. Not as long as I had expected. I am surprised. But then I am always surprised by you." Bremen laughed. He had left the borderman 6 months earlier with instructions to meet him again on the first full moon of the quarter season directly north of Paranor, where the forests gave way to the plains of Strelaheim. The time and place of the meeting were set, but hardly written in stone. Both appreciated the uncertainties the old man faced. Bremen had gone north into forbidden country. The time and place of his return would be dictated by events not yet known to either of them. It was nothing to Kinson that he had been forced to wait 3 weeks. It could just as easily have been 3 months. The Druid looked at him with those piercing eyes, white now in the moonlight, drained of any other color.